Back on the land today, and I have some really exciting news. It has officially begun raining. Now, it was a really small rain, it was only a drizzle, but after not having a single drop for what, 7, 8 months, this is really exciting. I'm on the land and just walking around. I'm feeling the soil is a lot more softer. So it's going to be a great day to do some earthworks. A great day to get the shovel to the soil so that we can get ready for when the more intense rains start coming in. But before I do that, I like to survey the land, and this time I went a little bit further than what I usually do. And one cool thing I found is a lot of dung, a lot of poop, all different sizes. And so it just goes to show me the life that is coming onto the land. I do have a big pile of composts near the workshop area. Maybe that could be attracting some animals. I do see a couple pieces of dung around it. But I'm finding, bigger and bigger pieces. When I uploaded my last video, somebody had educated me on what jackrabbit dung looks like, goat dung looks like, but these are a lot bigger. Let me show you. Now check this out. This compared to the little pellets that I've been seeing, is humongous. And so what kind this is, there has to be some kind of deer. I don't see, maybe it's a coyote, maybe. But this is just fairly large as compared to the little pellets. I'm not sure what would do that. Here is another example of like those little pellets. So you can see it's just a massive difference in size. I'm somewhat familiar with the bigger game that resides within the Mojave Desert, which we're on the outskirts of. I know that there is deer, there is some type of, I think, ram. There's mountain lions and coyotes, foxes, things like that. But I haven't seen, obviously, I wouldn't see them like that, but I just wouldn't know where they would even live, where they would even hide out because it's so barren here. There's some rock structures, but that's about it. There's maybe a couple around here within a couple of miles. I just don't see where the bigger game would be coming from. So I'm kind of at lost. I would love to set up more cameras throughout the land to see if I can capture it. So far, I've only been able to capture some coyotes and jackrabbits with my camera, but I'm going to rearrange it today and point it at a different angle and see if I can catch some of this movement during the night. A part of me does get a little nervous because, well, smaller game means bigger game. Jackrabbits mean those who hunt jackrabbits. Especially like the mountain lions. I think I'm more worried about them than I am of coyotes. They're just kind of like dogs. I can just kick them and they'll go away. But other part of me is very proud that I'm able to offer this small piece of an oasis in the desert. As I'm making this video, look what I see. How cool. I was just talking about you, buddy. I can see why so many birds get hunted because a lot of the birds around here actually walk a ton. They don't just fly, especially you have like road runners and stuff out here. A lot of them stay towards the ground, and that's just open season for coyotes and foxes and stuff. Look at this guy, so cute. Doesn't really mind that I'm kind of following him, or maybe he does, I'm not sure, but so cute. Today, I'm going to be focusing on making more small holes. On this project, I have been experimenting and I have come to the conclusion that it'll be more beneficial for me to dig a bunch of smaller holes, smaller swales, ditches, half moons, things like that, as compared to a couple of big ones. I want to be able to soak in water in as much landmass as possible. And so I'm going to be going around today and just doing a couple of different shapes in the ground. I'll show you guys what it looks like. But instead of just leaving it there, I'm going to be going up to the mountain, collecting some rocks to put in those shapes that I make, and that will hold it and make sure it doesn't just like collapse in or just fill up with sand and sediment again. Before I go to show you that, I want to stop and say thank you to every single person has been watching this entire playlist, Project Oasis, and everybody who has been enjoying the videos. It has been quite a journey. We are 10 episodes in. The idea of a vlog came on the fly. I didn't really think I was going to do it. I'm not really one to record my day-to-day actions like this. But I know that, and learning from the comments too, that so many people either one want to do this but simply don't have the means to do it, don't have the land, the access. um Two, they want to see this change in the world, so they support it. And three, they've already done it and have experience to share. And so I've met people from all three on this channel, and I am super, super grateful for you guys. I'm excited that this is inspiring you, this is entertaining you, because it's a nice shift from the entertainment that we are used to, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to be doing today is finally finishing this structure right here. This is kind of like a mini pond that I built out. It is a pretty big one. I have not been able to fill it up because of how far the rocks are and the little amount of time that I usually have here. But today, a mission is to get this. I'm gonna track how many trips it takes me and how far I walked. And I'm gonna fill up this entire thing. I mean, I want to fill it up all the way here to the rim. And what this is going to do is provide kind of just structure. It's going to prevent this sand from falling in. Okay, if I were to leave it here and the water that's going to be coming from that direction, from that peak over there, if it comes in how we're guesstimating it, then it's going to come in with a pretty good amount of force, and it's going to kind of like topple all of this over into the hole again, which is defeating the purpose. So if we provide it with some structure and make like a bowl of some sort of just rocks, this is going to allow the water to really soak in. It's going to catch any sediment, any rocks, anything really that's rolling down this hill. When the water comes, it's going to catch it here instead of it kind of like it's almost like a snowball effect. The more that the water rolls, the stronger it's going to get, the more it's going to pick up, the more destruction is going to be done to the top surface of the land, which is what we are dealing with right now, and it's what we are going to fix. Look, I don't want to make this into the channel of dung, but guys, when I see stuff like this, I get curious because, again, this project is about the wildlife, not just the plants, but also the animals, restoring everything back to a more natural state. And when I see different, feathers on the ground, carcasses, dung, whatever it may be, I get very curious because I don't see anything when I'm here. This all happens when I'm not here. This all happens during the nighttime or, when nobody's present. And so let me show you what I'm looking at, and maybe you guys can help me down below in the comments. Now, this one is rather interesting because it almost looks like kibble or something. It almost looks like, pet feed. And yeah, if anybody knows what this is, I'm not sure what kind of rabbit, ground squirrel, or whatever the heck could be around here, but let me know what you guys think. I'll also be, using AI to try to figure this out. Check out these rocks here on the top of the peak. The design, I mean, nature is beautiful. Nature is genius in its design, and you can see it all throughout the rocks. This is a natural forming. This looks like a wall. This looks like a walkway. This is so cool. And so this is the very, very tippy top peak. I like how it's permeable. Water can sink in there. But I found, there's the land. I found that this has a pretty good slope. What I would love to do is dig here so that water can build up and the pressure can overflow down this side of the mountain. And then along the rivers that are being created, the channels that are being created, I am going to be doing different earthworks, basically different catchment areas for when the water is overflowing, or when I can direct water into the catchment area, you know, into the next one, into the next one. You guys saw, I was throwing them random. I wasn't really putting them in a certain way besides the original ones in the middle. I was just throwing them and kind of having them land where they land. What's really cool is it created some natural habitats that smaller animals, different lizards, and different insects could live. This also allows for the seeds that I'm gonna be throwing in here to grow in between these crevices and have them be almost like a mulch for the grasses and the flowers and things that I'm gonna throw in this hole. So I had to put down the wheelbarrow because it got to the point where I started feeling blisters coming about. I was at it for about an hour and a half straight, and I'm good on the amount of rocks that I have carried today. So the next thing that I'm going to do on the land is I'm going to be taking a bunch of these orange stakes, and I'm going to be marking the places where I'm going to be doing half moons and catchment areas. But I want to show you guys something that I honestly just discovered, and that was probably me just not being too present, and me just being on the go. But I found a river, or what looks like a river, to be running straight through the land. And yeah, let me show you guys. Crazy thing is that it's so obvious, and it's actually right next to the path that I carved out to the mountain peak over there. That is the carve out, you know, little pathway. And this right here, remember what I said about the sediment. Remember what I said, that when you see this sediment that is, you know, accumulated in this area, that is because of the flow of water. Okay, so if you look, it's actually super obvious. It gets even more obvious over here. Look at this. Look at this. It's like a sandy beach. All of this water is sitting on all of this, rolling through all of this, and it leads back to the peak. You know, so this is just like an obvious place to look at when it comes to the flow of water onto the land. I just completely missed it. So I am going to be planning some type of catchment areas, some type of, look at this. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, you see in this middle, all that little brown, all this little brown, that's all plants, dead plants. So right here, plants grow really well. In the middle, plants grow really well. On these sides here and over here, water comes and it rolls down pretty aggressively. That's why there's like this little mound here. So what I'm gonna do is be digging little holes, little circles here, and kind of connecting these to these little holes. And I'm gonna be doing it maybe every 10 feet, 10, 15 feet. And I'm gonna be filling up those little holes with the rocks like you just seen me do, but they're gonna be way smaller than that one. These can be done, multiple of them can be done in a day. For that big one that you guys just saw, that took multiple days. So yeah, these are gonna be a lot easier to do, and then I'm gonna be able to fill up the land with a lot more of them. And so it's basically the water's gonna be making little pit stops on the way through kind of like the workshop area, but I'm gonna be digging here. I'm gonna be carving out a little tunnel. I'm gonna fill up the little areas with rocks, probably fill up these little tunnels with rocks, and have that pretty much across the entire land, across this entire strip. After finding so many interesting holes and shelters on the land, I'm on a mission to document all of the species that are on this land so that I can get to know them better, protect them better, and because it's entertaining for me and I know for you guys, the viewers. So every week, I am going to be taking the camera that I leave here and I'm going to be posting it up at different like shelters or different homes that I find in order to try to capture some of the life that is out here. Down the line, I do want better quality cameras, but the one that I have has been doing me good. It has 2K resolution. It has night vision. It is solar powered. It is connected to the internet out in the middle of nowhere. So it's really great, but one for 3 acres of land is just not nearly enough. And so down the line, I'll have more, but for now, this is all I got. And I would love help from you guys. I know many of you who are watching this channel are already into this type of content. You guys enjoy nature. You guys enjoy animals. Shoot, a lot of you guys probably study something in these fields. Well, I need your help to identify some of the plants that I don't know of, some of the animal habitats, burrows, things like that, dung that I find, and together we can help save these species and, again, just be entertained by them as well from a safe distance, respectfully, of course. Here it is. I set it up next to the compost because it is a hot spot, but honestly, I just didn't do a good job in pointing it the right way. I pointed it towards our kind of like bird stand, but I really wouldn't get that much action. So I'm thinking I'm going to place it facing this way where the mountain is. I'm assuming animals would come from here. I'm pointing it towards our road. Not really the smartest. Learn, you live and learn from your mistakes. But I want to catch the action that is going out around here. We already have our first carcass of the land. Usually we're finding, feathers or dung, but this is our first actual bones, our first actual carcass. And so this place is a hot spot and I'm on a mission to document all of this. This is so exciting to me, and we can get a feel for, their way of living out here, their way of surviving out in this harsh environment. And there we have it, a cool little setup, if you ask me. Shout out to the tree, or shout out to the shrub for, holding on strong. It's going to be pointing next to the compost, not exactly the compost, but pointing towards this area right here where we usually get some type of foot traffic. Usually see some type of prints and dung, and of course the carcass over there. So we should be seeing something come this way. And that is a wrap for me. I've been here for about 5 hours, and that's kind of like my limit. I do live a couple hours away from here, so it is a drive. But I feel like I got a lot done. I got a great episode. Thank you guys for watching to the end. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or have any knowledge that you want to drop, go ahead and hit the comment section. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the vlog, the playlist series, if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next episode.